Yo, what is going on now? How you guys doing this evening? Got your boy, me, Florida Mike. If you don't know, now you do. I'm holding the showdown for the panel tonight. Boston Hater has some business to attend to. E-Man is on like a vacation, and our lovely host, Bro Beto, is doing his thing with his family. So I had to come on here, man, and hold it down for us folk, man. I miss my bros, but I'm gonna get this show rocking and rolling for the fans. We still gonna do our thing. So big shout out to all the Niner faithful tuning in, rocking with your boy Florida Mike tonight. I'm a solo act, but I'm still, collectively in spirit, my brother's here with me. So let's get it popping. Big shout out first and foremost to all of the San Francisco 49ers fans worldwide. There's so many to shout out. I don't want to, when I do specific shout outs, I don't want nobody taking it like I'm ignoring them or dismissing them, because I got love for all Niner faithful, no matter where you are. But big shout out to the Orlando chapter. Big shout out to the Germany Niner fans and the UK Britain Niner fans, and definitely the California Niner fans and all the Niner faithful worldwide, baby. Let's get it. So I got a lot to talk about. And also, I'm going to be getting the fans' input as we go, because I know you guys are on the chat. So I'm going to be manning the chat line and the show. And make sure, if you're new to the show, thank you for tuning in first and foremost. If you're brand new, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Even if you're a Niner hater, you still need to hear real Niner football, because your team sucks. So you need to subscribe. I'm probably not going to get your subscription after saying that, but hey, it is what it is, because that's how I feel. You just need to subscribe anyway, and make sure you hit that like and hit that notification button. So for all you guys that are subscribing to the channel, make sure you hit the notification so you'll get the live update when the show is running live, so you'll know when we're on. All right, so first thing is first. How's everybody doing this evening? Hope you all are having an amazing evening. Hope you had a great Easter weekend. I tell you what, between last week's show on Friday and Monday's show tonight, just within that short time span, some things have happened. And although when we look across the landscape of the NFL, there's going to be twists and turns and plots coming about. The Jets traded Sam Darnold to the Carolina Panthers for some draft picks. So I just found out about this just a few hours ago. I was like, wow. I asked my bros and they confirmed it. And I said, wow. So what does this mean for the San Francisco 49ers? Obviously, it means what we kind of already knew. The Jets were going to take a quarterback at number 2. And it just kind of solidifies that now. What's up, bro, Tom? What's going on, E-Man? I see you guys in the chat. Appreciate the love, fellas. So the Jets traded Sam Darnold. They got the number 2 pick. And what's funny is, whatever the Jets do, we're gonna make our move based on what they do. I think that we don't have one guy, obviously, because it's common sense. We're the number 3 draft pick at the moment, and we're gonna move. We moved up, so we have a few guys that we're interested in taking. There's projected to be 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round, and if that's the case, obviously we're in a very good position to get one of those 5 because we're pick number 3. So I think San Francisco 49ers are good on a couple guys at least. And with that being said, doesn't really matter what the Jets pick. We're going to get our guy, because for all I know, I don't know who the guy is. Only San Francisco knows. Really, Kyle Shanahan knows for certain. But we have our one. We have our probably 1A and 1B guy, and everybody else. Or we just have all guys are viewed equally, and he's good with either one. But whatever the case is, we're going to be good. So what I want to bring to the table is some things that I spoke about Friday, and elaborate on our situation going forward into the draft. So a lot of people actually traded up a lot of draft capital to move up to the number 3 spot. There was a lot of concerns, like initial concerns from some fans like myself. Then you had some other fans who were kind of like, man, what are we doing? But then as time started going on, a lot of people started kind of feeling this move and kind of optimistic a little bit. So I'm going to give all Niner faithful an opportunity to be excited about trading up. So here's the thing. it's been said historically speaking, teams that trade up, even recently, we saw with Mr. Trubisky, teams trading up like Chicago to get him, with us, ironically, and we moved back, and it wasn't a huge jump like we did this year, but they still traded up. They got Mr. Trubisky, and we saw how that went for them. It didn't go as planned. Then other teams have traded up. They make these moves. It doesn't go as planned. So history doesn't favor favor us, right? But the funny thing is, this is a unique situation. We're not like all those teams that traded up and then the draft pick didn't pan out. And here's what's funny, guys. Before I say this, what I'm about to say, you have teams that didn't trade up, but had they trade up and made the Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes or that type of pick of a quarterback or get the young man from Buffalo, any one of those guys, if they would have traded up and got those guys, then that myth would probably minimize. But the fact is, people traded up and did not get those quarterback guys. And the thing is, when we lost a lot of draft capital to get, this potential quarterback, what people got to understand and put in perspective, Kyle Shanahan has taken mediocre type guys and made them look better. And like I said on the show Friday, for those of you that were not able to attend on Friday's show, I'm just going to give a quick review and keep it moving. I mentioned several quarterbacks that Kyle Shanahan worked with that he made look better than what they are. And post Kyle Shanahan, those quarterbacks, only one has looked somewhat decent. The rest have not been the same. So you look at Matt Schwab from the Texans. When Kyle Shanahan had him, he made him had his best year. Outside of that, I mean, serviceable here and there, but not really great. Then he got Matt Ryan. Then he got Kirk Cousins. Then he had RG3. Then he has Jimmy Garoppolo. All of these guys, were good quarterbacks under Kyle Shanahan. He made quarterbacks that were not desirable look desirable under his system. So if he can take guys, which majority of these guys were not his guys, he inherited these guys. Now he's getting an opportunity to handpick and draft his guy, a guy that he sees fit, a guy that he wants to mold. So with that being said, I think at the end of the day, he's going to have an opportunity to mold somebody. So as long as he gets that opportunity to mold somebody and he gets an opportunity to pick his guy, I'm confident that Kyle Shanahan is going to make the right decision. He has shown historically, you got people out there talking about the history of teams moving up and failing. Well, Kyle Shanahan has shown historically as an individual, as an offensive coordinator, that he's taken quarterbacks that he had to inherit and make them successful. So regardless of what history says, Kyle Shanahan history shows otherwise. So for the Niners organization to make this move, I think it's a great move. Now, the question is, who are we taking? That has yet to be seen. But whoever we take, you know what? I'm confident in Kyle Shanahan's ability to produce this quarterback and get the job done. His job is literally on the line, so it has to work. So I'm not worried about it. It's a few fans might be concerned, rightfully so, because like I said, history says otherwise. But Kyle Shanahan's individual history as an offensive coordinator defeats what the historical of these other teams have moved up and done. And he's a good mastermind coach at the quarterback position thus far. So overall, he's done a great job of taking game managers and making them look very good, decent enough to say, hey, they've had some good seasons under him. So with that being said, who do we take at the number 3 pick? Who do we take? Has yet to be seen. This particular show, I'm not going to really get into the dynamics of each quarterback because I'd rather wait till I have my bros on here because I think it makes for a better observation as the panel would prefer to still look because we still have some weeks away. But we definitely will be giving our critique before the draft. And we'll see who's right, or we'll see what we think the Niners are going to go with. As many of you know, I personally would like to see us draft Justin Fields for other for reasons that I think overall. But I'll be honest, I will not be mad if he gets the other candidates that we're talking about with Trey Lance and Zach Wilson. Now I'm not keen on Mac Jones. I'm gonna make that clear. I'm really not. But if we pick him, I would be very surprised. But if that were to happen, if he became a Niner, I have to root for him. But I don't think that's the way we're going to go. So, you know, I'll be honest, I'm not really keen. When I say I want Justin Fields, it's not because I feel like he's better than these other guys. The reality is, I think I like Justin Fields simply because I like his toughness. I think when people make their analysis on these quarterbacks, all of these young men are going to have pros and cons. But at the end of the day, the reality is it's about what system you go to. Right now, Trevor Lawrence looks better than all these guys, right? But he goes to Jacksonville and he doesn't have that support. He doesn't have that development. Trevor Lawrence is a naturally gifted, great quarterback, but his potential might not be maximized in Jacksonville. Whereas you got a guy like Wilson, Fields, Lance come to San Francisco, their potential is probably going to hit higher peak in the long term than, say Trevor Lawrence. And it sucks, but kind of who you go to, no matter how great you are, whoever you go to in this type of system they got you in, if they don't utilize you great, or they're not known for having a great system to utilize and maximize quarterback skills, it can affect your growth, even if you're great enough to kind of overcome that. So imagine if, let's say, we see Russell Wilson as, I hate to use this example, but he's with Seattle. He's overachieved every year, and this is why I'm using him. But imagine if Russell Wilson was, quarterback for another system that didn't fit his skill set. Would he be as developed? It has yet to be seen. We don't know, but I wouldn't put Tom Brady in Seattle system. They would have to adjust to him, and they could not call those plays for Tom Brady that they do Russell Wilson because they're two different quarterbacks. And same vice versa. I don't know that New England would adapt to Russell Wilson the same way Seattle does. So, it's about systems, and also the quarterback obviously has to have some skill sets there as well. So I think the quarterbacks that's going to benefit are the ones going to a system like San Francisco. So I'm highly confident that Kyle Shanahan is going to do what he has to do. Now, with that being, like I said, I like Justin Fields for my personal reasons. I don't feel like any of these quarterbacks, I'm not high on none of these quarterbacks, and I'm going to make this real clear. I want you guys to listen. I am not high on any of these quarterbacks like I was Deshaun Watson coming out in 2017. Deshaun Watson is the only player that I said we have to get. I've never had a draft and felt that high of a player in my life because I feel like every draft pick is a crapshoot. You don't know what you're getting. And at the time, I wasn't as well groomed on how the business side works. I didn't have the exposure that I did today. There was no internet. He's communicated about some aspects of it. So that's why I'm getting at. So, like, how can I put it? Deshaun Watson was an obvious choice. When we didn't draft him and we got Solomon Thomas, it was like a no-brainer. Like, oh man, championship quarterback, just beat a NFL defense, and we didn't even look at him. And instead, Trubisky is off the board first. So I think the 49ers in the prime position to, get that opportunity to draft that guy. And if you guys, you guys saw like I did this season, what was our biggest hole? We had a top 10 defense without Nick Bosa. I'm going to say that again. We had a top 10 defense without Nick Bosa. We played pretty damn well to be an injured team for the defensive side. But without a backup quarterback, what do we have? We had injuries on the offensive side of the ball, but without a good, solid backup quarterback, we didn't have anything. That was our biggest hole last year. So now that we've traded up, we're going to address that problem. These, Kyle Shanahan, Lynch, obviously, based on their press conference, they don't want to go into the season with that problem again. Knowing Garoppolo's injury prone, they're going to want to draft a quarterback. And it makes sense. So they moved up. They took a risk, but it's a risk that's going to pay off more so than not, that I'm confident it will. And whoever the guy is at number 3, I'm going to be excited about, because it's Kyle Shanahan's guy. I again, I'm not wanting Mac Jones, but you know, I don't think we're going to go that route. So personally, I'm not really worried about it. But we'll see. I think the Niners have a history of surprising people, like we did with Mike McGlinchey, drafted him in the first round. Who saw that coming? All these pundits and talking heads who I have so much disdain for, but all these talking heads said otherwise. And we picked Mike McGlinchey. Who saw that coming? Nobody. So all this talk about Mac Jones, same thing. They could say whatever they want. They could talk about whatever they want. But the reality is only Kyle Shanahan knows what he's going to do. And I think he's going to surprise these talking heads again because they're more incorrect than they are correct. That's why I don't really pay attention. I hear about them more from fans than I do myself actually watching them. So uh, I don't think we'd trade up number 3 to get some Mac Jones when we could have waited and got him. It doesn't make sense. It's simple as that. So we're trading up to get a game changer that Kyle sees in this draft. And that's what we're going to get. So who is that? Has yet to be seen. But we'll see. I can't wait. I'm excited to see who our young stud is going to be and who he's going to mold and develop. I'm highly confident in Kyle Shanahan's ability to do such. Now, what I would want to know is from Niner fans out there, and if you're in the chat, feel free to chat. You know what I mean? You can post who you want and you're welcome to put Mac Jones, to be fair, but I would be surprised if I see a Niner fan put it. I would want to know from you guys with the number 3 pick. You can just put in the initials: JF, Justin Fields, MJ, Mac Jones, ZW, Zach Wilson, and TL, Trey Lance. Who would you want at the number 3 pick? You can quickly type that in the initials in the chat. And as you guys are doing that, I'm going to touch on what I think about the Jimmy Garoppolo being traded, or should we keep him and groom this next quarterback? So as you guys are in the chat, feel free to type in who would you want at number 3. You want out of those quarterbacks that I just named. So I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. In my humble opinion, I would love to keep Garoppolo for 1 year. I feel having a quarterback that's been proven to get you there, and then having a quarterback that's in the groom of, coming up, I think is advantageous. Now, on the flip side, if we trade Garoppolo now, we can have another draft pick, preferably a high one, and then we can address more holes to fill. But then again, that will leave you with your quarterback being a rookie and having to learn on the fly. And how quickly can they adjust? Now, here's the funny thing. If we do get a rookie quarterback, and let's say we did trade Jimmy and got a draft pick, because some people are talking about we should only get a first round pick for Garoppolo. Well, here's the problem with that. Garoppolo, outside of the 13-3 season, what team would benefit off of trading for a first round for him? I mean, what has he done to be worthy of a first round pick? Yes, making the Super Bowl is no small feature. I get it. He was 13-3, but he also has a injury history that, we got a second for him. So we're basically hoping that somebody will give us more than what we acquired to get him. And they know his injury history. They've seen it. So although the potential is there to repeat to a Super Bowl or playoff push, they also know the potential is there that they might not have a quarterback after game 4. You know what I mean? And who wants that feeling? So I doubt we get a first round pick. I would love it if a team was going to pull the trigger and do it, but I highly doubt it. That's just people's, fans getting their hopes up for something and trying to justify it. So let's be a little bit more realistic from a business sense. Hopefully we can get a second round for him like we did when we acquired him at the best, and that's hoping. And if we could land a second round, would we be objected to getting another pick to draft another hole, especially if we got a guy that Kyle Shanahan says, hey, this guy has more ability than Garoppolo. and I can make him better and more productive. Because the reality is, right now in our division, we have the fourth best quarterback in the division. Meaning we have the work we don't have the best quarterback. We are last. I mean, I don't think it's debatable, but to each his own. I'm sure some people will have a slight disagreement. But Matthew Stafford, better than Garoppolo. I would say so. Um, Kyler Murray, better than Garoppolo, and he's proof that he's only been in the league for a short stint and has just as much experience because Garoppolo's been hurt that much, damn near about the same amount of games. Um, you know, and obviously the dude up there in Seattle, that guy. So um, when you're going into a season with the fourth best quarterback in the division, which is not a bad thing because our division is tough. That just shows how good our division really is. But it's not a comforting feeling either when your starter's not even at least not top three. So with that being said, we gotta do our best to upgrade as quick as possible and transition that thing. So I would love to hear you guys in the chat. I'm looking in the chat and I'm trying to manage that too. I see TL, I see the Trey Lance. So no, that's not Trevor Lawrence, guys. By the way, that's Trey Lance. So I see Dina. What's going on, Dina? Dina is like Trey Lance. I see. It looks like we got a lot of Trey Lance. Okay, looks like we got some Trey Lance here. What's going on, GP? That's my bro right there. What's good, baby? Um, okay. I'm seeing some Trey Lances coming up. So do we have any other guys out there with the Zach Wilsons if available? Because listen, guys, let me tell y'all something. It's no foregone conclusion that the Jets will take Zach Wilson. It's no guarantee, no matter what. Everybody's blowing smoke screen right now. Nobody's going to reveal their hand. It wouldn't be wise to. There's still some talks of teams maybe trying to trade. Let somebody offer the Jets a blockbuster trade like the Dolphins did with us. You don't think the Jets will be willing to move down a little bit and get more picks? Like anything can happen. You just never know. More than likely, they'll probably stay where they're at because they traded Sam Darnold now. But you just never know. Nobody's going to show their hand. So I see a lot of love for Trey Lance. So I'm gonna pose a question to all the Trey Lance supporters, and this is not questioning you in terms of like disagreeing. It's just trying to have a better understanding. Because I tell you what, I'm intrigued by Trey Lance on the low. I know I said Justin Fields is the guy that I would prefer, but I have no problem with Trey Lance. I don't. His upside, I could see Kyle Shanahan taking him. From what I'm hearing, they run a system that he can gel with Kyle Shanahan. Let me ask you guys this. Is there a concern that Trey Lance played against lower level competition compared to, the Mac Joneses and the Justin Fields of this draft? That his competition, I mean, even Zach Wilson, but more so Justin Fields and Mac Jones at that level. Is there concern that Trey Lance does not have the same competition and he also lacks the experience? That's a concern from some people. The Niner fans that are keying in TL initials, how do you feel about Trey Lance? Honestly, do you could type it in, feel free, and I'll make sure I, call on your name when I see your comments come up. Do you feel like his lack of experience is going to be problematic? Do you feel like, okay, this guy looks good, but he doesn't have a lot of experience and he hasn't played against the big competition like some of these first round NFL guys coming into the draft? Or do you feel it doesn't matter because Carson Wentz went to the same school? His number of games is no different than Mac Jones. In fact, I think statistically, Trey Lance actually has one more game played as a starter more than Mac Jones. So despite this competition, does he have that it factor? Does he have that ability to reach his upside, with Kyle Shanahan? I tell you what, his athletic ability by itself is very scary. It's very scary. I watched some film on the kid. I need to watch more, but I don't like watching highlights because I think highlights is exactly that. They show the highlights of what you do well. I want to see when you have low lights and you're not doing so great. But at the end of the day, I want to see like there's things on film that you can't coach, you can't teach. When Justin Fields got his rib injury against Ohio State, I'm sorry, against Clemson, and he came back and balled out even more. To me, that was impressive. To me, when guys say he can't make reads, well, if you watch the Clemson game, the biggest game he played, his best performance, I would say, he made plenty of reads after the first receiver. You know, he was killing Clemson secondary, and then he did it with his feet. That's hard. So when you got a guy like Trey Lance who has a monster athletic ability, probably the best athletic quarterback in this, in out of the guys that we mentioned, and he has huge upside, you know, his limited experience really means little when you got a guy who's experiencing coaching and developing like Kyle Shanahan. He could take this kid and make him a monster. He really could. And if Kyle Shanahan goes Trey Lance way, I wouldn't be mad at all. You know what? And I'm gonna be honest. I think Trey Lance might be that guy. He really could be that guy. I mean, his upside is ridiculous. What does he not do well in terms of athletic ability, passing? Sure, he can get better at the next level. Sure, he has room to improve, but you know, Trey Lance does have a lot of potential. And that's what we see in all of these young men. They have a lot of upside. So the question is, who does Kyle want to mold the most? Who is the guy that he's like, I gotta have this guy, or I want this guy? And we'll find out on draft day. But I tell you what, guys, I do like you. I love that the Niners are talking about Trey Lance. I think that's pretty dope because you guys are basically like, hey, if we're gonna go all out, let's go all out. Let's get Trey Lance and let's do it. Let's do the damn thing. You know what I mean? So we got brother Tom said Trey Lance for him too. All right, all right. So yeah, man, Trey Lance could be he could be a monster. So GP says it's a concern in some ways, but I think it's important to scout traits more so who he played against. Scouting point. Um, you know, I tell you what, I think when guys come in and they say they have lack of experience, or they didn't play this big competition. At the end of the day, if you either got it or you don't. There's a lot of college quarterbacks who played the biggest stage, and they will bust. We got a long list of those from Ohio State and USC alone that played at big levels, big stages, and then they got drafted high and they didn't amount to jack. There's a ton of USC quarterbacks that were bust, a ton. So, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it just comes down to development and the system that you're going into. Again, you got to have skill sets. I don't think these guys are bad quarterbacks. I really don't. I think every quarterback that is a first round draft pick has potential to be a good quarterback in the league. So at that point, it just comes down to the type of coach, the type of system and scheme that they're going to be asked to utilize in. And, some coaches are better for certain players than others. I'm going to use this team because it's crazy. We're talking about coaches. So like you take when Nick Saban was with the Dolphins, okay, he's an example of a coach that is a great college coach, probably arguably one of the best coaches ever in college football history. But he gets to the NFL and it didn't translate. Now, here's what's funny. Did it not translate because he wasn't a good coach, or did it not translate because they didn't get Drew Brees? You know what I mean? Imagine if he had Drew Brees. What would his career have been like? Because Drew Brees was a guy that I think came out of Purdue, if I ain't mistaken. I think that's where he went to college at. And he did his thing in the NFL, and it's like you don't know what you're going to get. And then some of these, Drew Brees would have went to Miami where he had the same career that he did with the Saints. It has yet to be seen. We'll never know. But that's what I'm getting at. We gotta have a guy that fits the system of what Kyle wants to do, and Kyle is already that guy to develop. So that's why I say, guys, I'm not worried about moving up to number 3. I don't care about risks or history or none of that. All I care about is, can we win the Super Bowl with what we have? And Kyle Shanahan has shown the ability to get there. and he's a young coach, and he's learning, and he's even getting better. So we got the right guy. So if we're gonna take a chance, I would rather take a chance with a coach like Kyle Shanahan, who has a proven track record with 5 quarterbacks that I feel are game managers and made them better than what they are. So appreciate that, GP. See the Purdue, cool. Dina says mobility is what we need. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Here's the funny thing, guys. I'm gonna say this too. There's a big stereotype out there about can mobile quarterbacks win because pocket passers are the ones bringing home the Super Bowl. Well, here's a funny fact. Mobile quarterbacks have not really had coaches cater to their type of game style in the NFL as a whole. You know, prior to Michael Vick, you didn't really have offenses catering to mobile quarterbacks because it was something that they were trying to adjust to. The game, the way mobile quarterbacks play the game, it's a different type of scheme you got to put around their skill sets. Now you have more guys, more coaches that are getting acclimated to these types of quarterbacks. So give it some time, because it's not like mobile quarterbacks were the bread and butter of the NFL. Majority of the NFL has been catered to pocket passers. So offensive coordinators will cater to pocket passers. And it's not saying a pocket passer cannot win. It's not saying a pocket passer is not effective. I mean, we have examples that pocket passers are. Tom Brady, is first person that comes to my head. But we also have examples like Patrick Mahomes, who can also win a Super Bowl, just like Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl. So either one is very capable. But in today's game, a pocket passer needs more around him, to be that effective. Definitely going to have a good O-line, good running back, tight ends to get the job done, blocking and catching, some receivers. They're going to need a complete team more. Whereas when you have an elite mobile quarterback, they might be able to hide the weakness of an O-line because they're able to scramble out of the pocket and gain some yards utilizing their legs. So at the end of the day, I am a fan of mobile quarterbacks because, as many of you know, I am a Steve Young fanatic. He is my favorite San Francisco 49er of all time. And I grew up on the mobility of Steve Young. So I'm automatically going to root for a mobile quarterback. But at the same time, if we have a pocket guy, like, hey, I'll be honest, Dan Marino is one of my favorite quarterbacks, and he's pocket guy. And Dan Marino is a damn good quarterback. So at the end of the day, whether it's an elite mobile quarterback, elite pocket passer, even though I prefer elite mobile quarterbacks, I want to win. If we get a pocket passer that comes in here and does his thing, fine. I'm cool with that. But at the same time, I know that the game is evolving, and I know that offensive coordinators are now starting to cater their mindset and adjust the old way of thinking about traditional drop back pocket quarterbacks. And now they're starting to open up more playbooks that cater to those skill sets. So now these guys can be more effective going forward. And I think you're going to see a change in the NFL in the future. I mean, it's already changing. You got guys like Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. You got these guys that are considered mobile quarterbacks, and they're transitioning to the game very well. They prove that they can win at the high level when they're given an offensive coordinator that, coaches around the skill set. And that applies to anybody, pocket passer too. So I just want to put that out there. I think some people are worried about mobile quarterbacks being injured. So when they talk about Trey Lance or they talk about Justin Fields, you always get that drawback because people are like, mobile quarterbacks get hurt. Well, the reality is any quarterback can get hurt if they get hit. The way you see Russell Wilson, he rarely gets hurt. He runs, but he slides. He's a smart runner. He doesn't take hit. So when a pocket passer is dropping back and they don't have that mobility, they're depending on their O-line to protect them. What happens when their O-line misses an assignment or get beat? They get blindsided. They get hit. And they can get hurt just as much as anybody else. So at the end of the day, injuries are going to come whether you're mobile or your pocket. It's all about being effective on the field when it really boils down to it. I prefer mobility because I just love the style. But it doesn't mean that I'm this close to whatever helps to win. So if we get a guy that's mobile, we got to get a guy that's a smart runner. If you're running, and you trying to get those extra yards and it takes a toll on you, just slide. It's another play. Russell Wilson is a perfect example of that. I hate using his name as a reference because as much as I can't stand the Seahawks, he has proven over and over and over, despite how bad his O-line's been and the hits he's taken from his poor O-line, but when he's running, he's sliding or he's going out of bounds. He's able to have more duration through a season. His hits are coming because he has a porous O-line, more so than him getting hit on the run. So, but yeah, I grew up Steve Young fan, so my heart is with the mobility for life. So let's go into these comments though, man. Let's get in here. I see these comments are moving fast, so I see some people. So yeah, so we got a couple. I'm leaving out from the Trey Lance and scrolling on down. Hey, what's going on? Nice Golden. There you go. What's going on, brother? Appreciate the love and the shout out, man. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Always good to see you. Tom, I'm with you. I hate Russell too. Hate is a strong word. So with that being said, I hate Russell Wilson too. Yes, hate is a strong word, and I hate the Seahawks too. Yes. So yeah. I'm looking forward. So let me ask you guys this. What from the fans' perspective, because I like to keep you guys engaged in this. I'm not gonna sit here and run my mouth all day. I wanna talk to the fans. In the chat box. I don't know if you guys seen the schedule yet. It's out there who we're playing. Now they don't have the exact dates and all that yet, but it's out there who we're playing. Outside of our division, do you have a game that you're looking forward to the most? Like you're like, damn, I can't wait for this game. I hope it's a Monday night game or primetime game. Is there a game that you're looking forward to? I know when we played Boston last year, I know Boston Hater was looking forward to us smacking them up. So for me, this year will be Jacksonville. Only because San Francisco's coming to Jacksonville this year. So that's the game I'm looking forward to. I don't know if you guys have like that game outside of our division, of course. I'm only talking about non-division games. So let me know. I just love to hear you guys in the chat. If you're aware of the schedule, if you're not aware of the schedule, go ahead and Google it real quick, see who we playing, and drop the team that you can't wait to see San Francisco smack down this year. And I'm planning on going to that 49er Jacksonville game. So I will be out there live and lit, and you'll see me representing them 49ers hard in Duval County. So, yeah, guys, I tell you what, you guys definitely, every time I hear talks of Trey Lance, in the back of my head, okay, with my mouth, I'm saying Justin Fields, but in the back of my head, I'm like, damn, what about Trey Lance, though? It's like, it's like you have two opportunities for a job, and you take one because it's the big reputation. It has, it's shown that it has the ability to produce people. But in the head, you're like, but this small company is on the come up too. I wonder what they're going to be like in 5 to 10 years. And you're curious and you see the trend coming. So I am not opposed to Trey Lance by any means. And I tell you what, the one thing I like about Trey Lance, in his defense, no matter what people say about his lack of experience, or the level of competition he plays, all that means nothing. Trey Lance's ability alone is amazing. And the fact that I like the way this kid carries himself, his character, I've heard nothing but great things about him. He doesn't seem like the type of kid that doesn't want to listen. He seems very coachable. And when you got a kid that's coachable and he has the intangibles to go with it, he has the opportunity to really excel. This kid, I heard his story about him wanting to be Minnesota's quarterback, and Minnesota didn't take him, and how he was disappointed by that. He was upset by it. But he came out and balled out. And, I guarantee Minnesota's kicking themselves in the face right now. He certainly would have made Minnesota a more formidable team just with his presence, and this guy has a lot of skills. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited. I can't wait. Trey Lance it's intriguing. I'll tell you this. Like, I'm not opposed to it at all. Justin Fields will be my 1A. Trey Lance will probably be my 1B. And I'll leave it at that. I'm fine either way. So, yeah, let's see what we got here. Okay, we got Dina. Dina saying Philly. I'm assuming Dina is saying can't wait to see Philly. Interesting. And need redemption. Okay, so from last season, I got you. Yeah, that last year's loss to Philly was horrible. Was not good. It was not fun. So yeah, I believe with a healthy 49ers team, we can deal with the Eagles. Let's see. So it looks like are we playing Green Bay again this year? Um, it seems like we always play them, but they finish first. I don't think we played a division because we played division last year. I just saw somebody wrote in there they want to see Rogers get sacked. Okay, that's my boy Tom. I think he's responding to someone named Philip. Looks like Dina is posting about the Eagles. Want us to beat them with no mercy. That's right, Dina. Tell them. Eagles will not be flying around in the Bay this time, so we coming for them too. Yeah, Tom, I'm with you on that. I hate the Cowboys with a passion. I hate Dallas with a passion. Um, I might need to call myself the Dallas Cowboy hater, like Boston hater, but I'll keep Florida Mike. But yeah, I hate Dallas with a passion. So it's going to be an interesting year this year. The biggest thing is can we stay healthy? That is the biggest concern for me. I'm not worried about moving up to number 3. I'm concerned with being healthy because that's been the issue with our team. Being, um, I really wish that we could have D Ford. I really wish he was healthy enough to play because I like having Ford and Bosa out there. They make our team better, you know. Um, but with D Ford having the injury issues that he have, and we restructured his salary to benefit our team, we have to move forward, and that's part of the NFL. Unfortunately, it sucks, but I wish D Ford can play. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this season. It's going to be an interesting, fun season. I can't wait to see who we draft as a quarterback, and whoever it is, I'll support. But hoping it's Fields or possibly Trey Lance. I'm open to it. I don't anticipate Zach Wilson being there, but like I said earlier, you never know what the Jets are going to do. The Jets might take damn Justin Fields. You never know. Anything's possible. There's nothing stopping them from not, but themselves. So they're in a position to acquire him, and they could. They could. You never know what they see. This Zach Wilson talk might be smokescreen, but then they legitimately might love Zach Wilson. It has yet to be seen. So whoever they get, um, whoever they get, we're gonna get the opposite. As clear as that. So, but yeah, guys, we're coming up on. I know the show normally goes for an hour. I told my brother Beto I'll do it for till 45 minutes. We got started a little late. Had a minor technical difficulty, but I'm gonna try to keep it till 11 and make sure that I don't run too past because I got to get ready to get up myself in the morning. But yeah, guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I hope I brought some good content for my Niner faithful. And if there's something you want me to cover real quick before we get off, or you got to ask me a question, feel free to do so. Do my best to answer as best as I can with the knowledge that I have. And go Niners all day, baby. Bang, bang, Niner game. I got a question, too, for anybody out in the Bay Area. If you have any updates on what the Niners are doing about attendance or whatever, please let me know because I would definitely love to fly out to San Francisco this year to watch a game. That's been my dream since I was a kid. I've always wanted to see that Golden Gate Bridge, that lovely city, and go to a 49ers game. So if you guys know anything about the 49ers letting fans in the stadium, let me know, please, because I will definitely be coming to a game this season. That is my goal. So thanks, bro, Tom. Always love you, man. Appreciate you, bro, Tom. You always speaking the language I love to hear, man. Appreciate all you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. It means a lot. Make sure you guys go out there and spread that word. And we're going to keep this show, popping for our Niner fans. Because, like I say, guys, here's the reality. If you don't have these kind of shows where a Niner fan who watches the Niners all year round, and then you got to result to talking heads, man, it sucks. You know, talking heads will get you thinking, second guessing your team. And these guys don't watch our team unless we're in the playoffs or winning the Super Bowl. When we was 2-14, they wasn't talking about us, but we was talking about us. When we was 6-10, they wasn't talking about us, but we was talking about us. When we had 13-3, they was talking about us, and we still was talking about us. But then when we go back to losing again because of injuries, they wasn't talking about us. We was talking about us. Point is, we watch our team more than they do. We're only relevant to them when it sells. Those are facts. They will spend more time talking about the most televised team or somebody that's on the up and up than they will us. Tampa Bay wasn't talked about until they got Tom Brady. Now all of a sudden they all in the media's mouth. You see what I'm saying? They pick and choose. They couldn't have told you they couldn't have told you guys anything about our team prior to 13-3. They couldn't. They weren't paying attention to us. All of a sudden, they know about us now. So, like I said, man, we know our team better than they do. Don't let talking heads who don't watch your team like you do sway you and make you think and second guess your team. You know your team. You watched them. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, guys, I'm telling you guys, I'm enjoying this show because I love what we do on this show for our fans. This panel loves our fans. We appreciate all you guys, and we do this for the fans. You know what I mean? Without you guys, I mean, we still be talking Niners, but it's more motivating when you have um, Niner faithful at your side. You know, rocking with you, tuning in and talking with you, and that's what we do on this show. We truly represent the 49ers. We talk about us even when the season's not here. We give you what the talking heads can't. And that's real solid info. That's real critique and inside information. You know, whatever these talking heads say, we can give you a thorough detailed insight because we watch our boys. You know what I mean? We know our team. So but yeah, thank you guys for tuning in with us out of all the other networks and platforms that are out here. You guys chose to rock with us, so we appreciate you, and we're gonna keep it coming. We're gonna go harder and harder every Friday. You know what I mean? We're gonna come on here and rap these Niners. And real talk, guys. If you have an opportunity, no matter where you're at, if you have an opportunity, you know, I would like to eventually do what I would like to call the 49er reunion, where once a year, as we grow the show, you know, we all make plans and say, man, hey, we get out there and enjoy a game, you know, tailgate. It'd be nice to see some people. It'd be nice to fellowship, have like a big picture. Cause I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. Before I go, life is short. Like you know this, but think about it. Life is really short. It don't hit you until you lose somebody. You know what I'm saying? So when you come on this show every Monday and Friday, it's nothing that I take for granted. I don't take none of y'all presence for granted. I appreciate all of you guys. Got love for all you guys because I understand like this show is not just about 49er football. Man, this show is about therapy. Sometimes people come on here because they had a hard day at their job or they tired of hearing the talking heads or they just want to work out or they driving trucks or whatever and they want to listen to some real 49er talk and they come here. And sometimes that 2 days a week ain't enough. Some people need more. But the beauty of it is you can hit that replay. You can go catch up on other shows that you miss, and you got content every week, twice a week for sure. So when you guys come on this show, know your presence is felt. Know we're gonna keep rocking for the 49ers, man, until we can't no more. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate you guys, man. And it means a lot. So yeah, just want to get that out there. Before I leave, I want to say a little positive tip because I try to throw it in there on the shows when I'm with my panel. But now that I'm here solo, I'm gonna say it anyway. Every day you guys wake up, you know, this is a side of football. Every day you guys wake up, I want you guys to understand something in life. It doesn't matter what your obstacles are.
It
What
doesn't
matters
matter.
is your that's right. It doesn't matter what your obstacles are. It matters about your purpose because everyone has a purpose, right? When you were born into this world, there was no manual and guide to your purpose thrown at you. people ask you what you want to be when you grew up, but you as a kid, you didn't really know. You never had a sense of this world. You only just wanted to be what you were exposed to. But as you get older, you got people in the world telling you what your worth is, like at a job, right? You got supervisors at a job telling you what your pay grade is. They're giving you an appraisal once a year and they don't even talk to you. And then they come out and tell you what your rating is. This ain't got nothing to do with football. This is just about life, y'all. So bear with me. And I'm saying this because I don't know who need to hear it, but it's on my heart. It's on my spirit to tell somebody this today. I don't care what you're going through. I don't care what you've been through. I don't care what you have not gone through yet and that you're anticipating coming. Just remember, after every storm, the sun shines, right? After every storm, the sun shines. So make sure you persevere because your purpose is bigger than your obstacles. Your purpose is bigger. I just gave this on my Facebook post, and I'm going to say it to this group. Faith over fear. Fear is an acronym for false evidence appearing real. And how do I know? If you got somebody that's blind and they physically cannot see with their physical eyesight, they use their faith. They use their senses to get around. So for those of you that physically can see, try closing your eyes and walking around up the street. Let's see how you get around. You've never had to display faith because you're used to physically seeing. So when you have to display faith, it's going to bring you to another level. And guess what? Ironically, we're the 9 of faithful. Don't forget that. I'm going to end it on that.
Oh, I know you were coming to a close, so I wanted to jump on here real quick and so we can shut it down. But I've been watching everybody. Thank you first and foremost for being part of the N.W.A. I got my grandbaby with me, and Mike, the Florida Mike show tonight. On Monday, he took care of business, man. I enjoyed everything you spoke on, Mike, and you kept it real. And at the end of the day, bro, I just want to kind of just add a little bit to what you were saying. At the end of the day, we don't know what the Niners are going to do with that number 3 pick overall. All we know for sure is they're taking a quarterback. A lot of us have our preference of who we like. We're fans, okay? If some of us love Trey Lance, some of us love Field, some of us love Wilson, some of us even love Mac Jones. The Niners are going to do their due diligence, and they're going to look at these quarterbacks firmly, and they're going to look at the good qualities and the bad. Kyle Shanahan has never in his career drafted a quarterback this high. Okay? He has never drafted a quarterback of his choice this high. Yes, he took C.J. Beathard, but he took that in the late round. Yes, they took RG3, but that wasn't his pick. That was Daniel Snyder's pick. They took Cousins in the 4th round, I believe. This is the first time that Kyle Shanahan is going to choose his quarterback. So I'm going to leave with this note as well. Mike, I hope you can agree with me on this. All this speculation, all this rumors, all this noise that people are hearing about how Mike Shanahan likes Mac Jones because he's kind of similar to Cousins. He's similar to Matt Ryan, Schaub, all these quarterbacks, okay? These are all speculations. Why? Because unless somebody in the panel or somebody in the viewing this show right now knew about the trade. I don't know about you, Mike, but when I heard about the trade from 12 to 3, I found out the same day it happened. Not a day before, not a couple of hours before. The moment it happened, that's when it broke out to the media. Since Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, has taken over, they don't leak anything. Everything's quiet. So if you hear all these talking heads talking about Mac Jones, that's just them talking 3 weeks before the draft because they got to talk. But I want to just I don't know who the Niners are going to pick. And like what Mike said earlier, wherever they pick, we're going to, if you're a true Niner, follow the emblem, you may not be happy, but you're going to support the quarterback the Niners choose. They're going to live or die with this quarterback. But I just want to reassure you as we call this a night. Don't fall for the fried ice cream. Don't fall about all these things you're hearing about. His friend, what's his name, Chris Sims, Kyle Shanahan's friend, talking about they're going to take Mac Jones. These are just all people just speculating. The Niners don't leak nothing. Okay? I guarantee not even John Lynch's wife or Mike Shanahan's wife know what they're doing. They don't leak anything. We will find out who they choose on April 29th. So for those that are nervous because all the chatter you hear about Mac Jones, especially if that's not who you want, remember, at the end of the day, it's just chatter. Mike, what was the last time you heard the Niners leak anything since they took over that regime?
Man, the Niners have been. If you watch Kyle Shanahan and listen to what he says, the actual source, Kyle Shanahan hasn't told anybody anything. Again, we got Mike McGlinchey. Where nobody saw that coming, the talking heads, the so-called experts. Here's a funny thing, guys. It's smokescreen. Okay?
Yep.
Let's call it for what it is. This same talking heads told you we was going to get Matthew Stafford. We didn't even really offer much to pay that too much attention. The same talking heads said we was going to get Kirk Cousins. That didn't happen. The same talking heads before we got Garoppolo said we was going to get Kirk Cousins. That didn't happen. Okay? They are 0 for 6. They said several quarterbacks, and none of them have manifested. They said that we was going to get Tom Brady last year. Do y'all forget that? Did y'all remember? They said we were going to get Tom Brady. We were looking at him. That didn't happen. They said that we was thinking about getting Carson Wentz. That didn't happen. Matthew Stafford. The list goes on. And all of a sudden, it was Deshaun Watson wants to go to the Jets. Then all of a sudden they changed it. Oh, it's between the Niners and Broncos now. It changes.
Yep.
And then after he got these allegations, now all of a sudden it's Zach Wilson. Then it changed to Mac Jones. If you see the trend, they have to have something to talk about because they need stories to sell. They have a long way until the NFL draft. So what are they going to do? They're going to take the least desired quarterback from the perception of the Niner faithful, right? In general, because they know Niner fans are watching, and they're going to say, we're going to hype up Mac Jones. It's scripted for them. And I'm going to tell you, I just told you why. They got to have something to talk about. Let's listen to what they said, and let's look at the facts. Every time they said we were going to do something, we go left.
Yep, the opposite.
So, again, they've made a history of saying we're going to take Sam Darnold too. And who's Sam Darnold playing with now? The Panthers.
Yep.
Like this is ridiculous, man. Like nobody on the outside media knows a damn thing. The only thing they're going to do is speculate.
Yes,
and they're going to make, it went from Deshaun Watson now to they're not even talking about Deshaun no more. Look how quick that changed. When's the last time you heard about us getting Deshaun Watson?
Nothing. It's quiet. It's they moved on now for Deshaun Watson to Mac Jones. Prior to the Niners moving from 12 to 3, Mac Jones wasn't even mentioned. These are just talking heads doing what they do best, talk. Trying to get into social media, trying to get people all excited or bummed out. You can't rely on what they're saying. Unless you are close to John Lynch or Kyle Shanahan, which I don't know if Mike is, but I'm not. Nobody knows what's going on inside Santa Clara. They have not leaked out anything, and they will continue not to leak out anything. Nobody's going to know the true quarterback choice until April 29 when the whole world finds out who they're taking. At that point, you can make your talks. You can say this person was right, that person was wrong. But how many times, Mike, not just with the Niners, how many times have talking heads said this player is going to go in the number 1 overall? Listen,
man.
Baker Mayfield, he was number 1, right? But nobody saw him going to the Cleveland Browns at number 1.
Right.
And he went number 1.
Well, these same talking heads said Mr. Trubisky looks like all world.
Yeah.
How'd it turn out?
No.
In that draft class, Deshaun
he's a backup to
Patrick Mahomes look way better than him. Not even close. He's not even it's not even close. No comparison at all. So again, man, people are going to say what they got to say to sell.
Yep.
They're going to hype up certain players. They're going to minimize certain players because it causes controversy. Look, the media's doing exactly what they want. They're going to hype up somebody that was not talked about, and all of a sudden they catapult them up. And next thing you know, people are going to say, "Oh, I don't want this," because they know that. They know you don't want that. They know Mac Jones came from left field, so they're going to promote the hell out of that, and they're going to minimize guys that you feel are better, and that's what they're going to do. And then in the surface, they're going to play that neutral role. All these talking heads have one person on this side, another person on this side, and then they debate. That's intentional. Like on this panel, me and Beto don't go before the show and script who we want. We talk real raw and uncut. Like there was no script when I came on this show.
Yep.
I came on here from the heart. Everything I'm doing is freestyle.
Unscripted,
you know what I mean?
Correct.
Unscripted, bro. Like we talk from the fans. We talk from the heart, man. And that's why it's so authentic because it's coming from the heart. What I feel is what I'm going to speak. But when these guys get up there, they got their little screen in front of them, their cue cards, and it's entertainment. So they got to entertain people and they got to come up with something. You know what I mean? They'll look for any little thing. That's why I don't watch talking heads, guys.
And they're haters.
It's not that I'm a hater. It's just that I understand that these guys are entertainers. When they told us that our team was not really the real deal after we were 8-0 because our first half of our schedule was not tough. Let's not forget that. These same talking heads said that. But then we go to that hard stretch and we finished 13-3. We beat the Saints, said we weren't going to do that. Well, we did. You know, they were concerns about Carolina.
Yeah, we
beat
Seattle.
Best game.
We're not going to beat Seattle. Yep.
Yeah, Tevin Coleman's best game was against the Panthers, of all people, and we shut down that running back like they said we weren't going to do. I mean, like they said a lot of crap, and we still went out there and did 13-3. So at the end of the day, they only love us when it benefits their agenda, and they have an agenda, and that's to sell. Look at the news. Why do you think the news never speaks about positivity? Rarely.
That's right.
Everything's negative.
Yeah, because positivity doesn't sell. Negativity does. It puts fear. People get fear, and people want. I don't know why, but people adapt to fear. They want to hear more. They're afraid of what's going on, but they want to hear more about it. And that's all the media does is pump out fear, man. They never give you the news all the way across. They'll just give you the worst narrative of that part of that story they possibly can to get your attention. It's all about ratings. Things are not always as good as they seem, and things are not always as bad as it seems. But the media makes it feel that way.
They had the 49ers winning 3 games.
Yeah. Remember that one?
Playoffs. Yeah, 3-13.
Yep. And we did it, but they were right, but it was just backwards.
We ended up going 13-3.
Yep.
This the same media that people want to listen to?
On NFL Network, bro.
Choice.
Yes.
They had us losing to the Rams last year. What happened?
We beat them twice.
Tony Dungy, I think, was the only one that picked the 49ers to win.
I remember that.
Y'all remember that? These experts said we was going to lose to the Rams. We had a backup quarterback, and we still beat the Rams with what, Nick Mullins?
Yeah.
Come on, man. If you would have watched our team, we match up well with the Rams, you know, and the one game Mullins actually played good was against the Rams. We've been beating the Rams. We haven't lost to them.
Correct, Mundo.
But these guys don't know that. They don't watch us like that. They only see
4 times that we beat them.
Yeah, 4-0, man.
Yep.
The same old sorry you know what Rams. So
same old like sorry but Rams.
We picked out enough evidence to show you the flaws in these guys.
Yes,
and
sir.
if you're going to be an expert, you cannot be more incorrect than correct. An expert should not have more incorrect than correct. So we know our team better than they do. Those are facts. When you watch your team when you guys drive your car every day, you think a mechanic is going to know your car better than you? Like how you do your car? They might know how to fix it better than you because that's what they specialize in.
Same thing with the doctor. The doctor doesn't know your body better than you.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like you know you better than you. Just like we know our team better than they do. Yep. So listen to the people that invest in your team, man. That's what we do. You know what I mean?
To that point, bro, and we'll call it a night, bro. I know it's late where you're at.
Absolutely.
You're absolutely 100%, bro. They hate the Niners. These talking heads don't like the Niners. They want a Mac Jones to be on the Niners because they cannot bear to see a Fields or a Lance underneath Kyle Shanahan type of offense. So again, we're going to end it with this. Great show, Mike. Thank you for handling it by yourself. I appreciate it, man. Don't worry yourself. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but nothing's going to change. Whether you believe or don't believe these talking heads, whether you think it's going to be Mac Jones or you don't think, nothing's going to change between today and April 29th. So why worry about it? Let it be. Concern yourself about other things. On April 29th, we'll turn on the TV, we'll watch the draft, and we'll see who's going to lead the future of this franchise. Until then, just listen to the N.W.A. because we are the faithful that bring you uncut, raw material about your team. None of, we don't talk about no damn Raiders. We don't talk about no damn Cowboys, no damn Seahawks. We talk about the red and gold, the best team in the NFL. The team that everybody takes pride to be part of. The best color, the red and gold. None of that silver and ugly black. None of those teams matter. The only team matters is the one that we represent. With that, Mike, thank you for handling business tonight. Everyone, thank you for watching the show. Nate and I believe Eric was on here earlier from his vacation. Tom, Dina, and everyone else that comment on the comments. Thank you for your support. Until next time, stay tuned for Friday. Same time, same channel. More Niner information. Thanks, Mike.